Hello to all you beautiful people out there. Regnilla over here bringing you episode 98 of Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. We are so close to episode 100, I could practically taste it. But for this episode, we are doing something a touch different. We are out of G rank this time. We're back doing a village quest. In reality, I completely forgot about this quest. I forgot it existed, and I just remembered how cool this particular quest is. So this is the Rusted Cruciala Deora monster, and it is a unique take on the Cruciala Deora Elder Dragon, as you might be familiar with either earlier in this series or other Monster Hunter games. The rusted version of the Cruciala Deora isn't a monster that's really seen all the time. It's one of those monsters that just kind of comes up every now and again, and you realize, oh shit, that was like a different version of the Cruciala Deora. Now, it's kind of a subspecies, and it's kind of not. It's one of those things where I should dislike it because it's, in a sense, it's technically a subspecies, but at the same time, it kind of isn't. It's in reality just your average everyday Cruciala Deora, but with a little bit of a different take to it. So the best way I could describe the rusted version of a Cruciala Deora is like a Cruciala Deora with arthritis, and it really affects the behavior of this monster. It kind of reverses the overall behavior of the species in general. So to those that are unaware, the Cruciala Deora is literally a metal dragon. And there is a cutscene that shows you what happens once that metal skin, the metal scales of this monster begin to age. They begin to rust, and then eventually the monster will have to shed its skin, and then it has a shiny new coat of metal scales for it to go around and fly with. Now, in the rusted version's case, it's kind of the rust on the monster kind of makes it harder for it to be more maneuverable, if you will. So the wiki describes it as being more aggressive and using more bite and claw attacks. I kind of attribute it to, again, a monster with arthritis, because if you are having trouble moving your joints, in this case the Cruciala's skin is rusted over, you know, you're not going to be doing a whole lot of flying attacks. Instead, you're going to opt to something a little more basic. So I think that's really cool of this particular monster. And as you fight, you will quickly learn that the body parts of the monster, that as they start to break, you can see the new metal skin underneath. And again, it's really cool. Even though this is essentially just a Cruciala Deora that's, you know, basically pissed off. And so I have this monster's webpage open on the wiki, and so I just want to read this off here because the wiki here describes it better than I probably ever could. The Rusted Cruciala Deora is an elder dragon whose characteristics, metallic skin, as the name implies, wholly rusted. Rusted Cruciala Deora is much more aggressive in behavior than its normal counterpart. It tends to use more physical attacks such as biting and charges to attack hunters, and stays on the ground more often. So this is going into my theory that the monsters kind of has its own version of arthritis, because it's having more difficulty keeping itself in the air due to its rusted skin. Harder for it to move. The Rusted Cruciala Deora uses his aerial turnarounds bite much more often than the normal Cruciala Deora, and it can immediately attack with a charge or a wind blast after jumping back, whereas the non-rusted Cruciala Deora always taunts first. Now, I should also point out that this is probably just the general information. It doesn't specify whether or not the information is based on a particular game in the series, so I believe the Rusted Cruciala Deora first appeared in, well, this game, so Freedom Unite, and then it also appears in Monster Hunter Frontier and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. So it can have it can have a couple of variations, which can also be found on the you can read about it on the trivia page as well, which I will touch base on in a bit here. So the rusted Cruciale d'Ora can be found in the polar field. This is also the place I believe the Yukon Los can be fought. So it's kind of a unique place for the monster to be found. And it also tends to attack cities and military bases like the town that I'm currently fighting the monster in as well. And speaking of which, this particular area, in Area 2, the Cruciale d'Ora only has 2 areas where it can fight. Either up top where we're at right now, or on the ground. So he will not just jump down from the ledge to go after you. He will always fly first. So he flies from one area to the other. If, let's say, if you're fighting up top with him and then he charges and he makes his way down to the bottom because there is a ramp where he can do that, he will fly back up and meet you back on the ledge, which is actually kind of nice of him. You know, gives you a little bit of a breather, and it allows you to telegraph his attacks and his movements a little bit better. So that's nice. And it's also kind of helpful too, because you know, I'm using an electric based longsword to fight this guy, and well, he's not going down. In fact, I'm not going to be able to kill this monster in this quest. I'm still kind of baffled how that was possible, but I'm just kind of rolling with it. So this monster is a bit more tough than he appears, and if you want to maximize your damage with the Cruciale d'Ora, you could also use the Dragonator that you can find in Area 3. However, I believe the positioning is a little bit strict. I have used it against the monster before in the past, but it takes forever to get up to the Dragonator if you're on the ground. It's almost better if you lure the monster towards the Dragonator, use a Farcaster to get back to base, and then get into Area 3 that way. That way you have access to the Dragonator even faster. But it takes a lot of time to get up to climb the ladders in this game. That's one of the things I liked about 4 Ultimate and later on, is that you can fast climb. So it makes things a lot easier. So if we go down over to the notes and the trivia page of the Cruciale d'Ora, it says, prior to Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, the rusted Cruciale d'Ora doesn't use a separate name from the regular Cruciale d'Ora. So in Freedom Unite here, they're treated as the same monster. They're not treated as 2 separate entities. And it's kind of true, because these monsters are they're essentially the same thing, just, you know, one's has older skin. And it says, however, the quest descriptions called Cruciale d'Ora the brown metal plated dragon. So that's pretty much the only difference here. And we've kind of jumped in time a little bit, since this is arguably the same type of quest as a regular Cruciale d'Ora, only, you know, a much more stubborn one. And you can see already the parts that I've broken off the monster. You can see the new metal skin that's underneath. And so, you know, chipping away at that old skin. And it'd be kind of cool if the parts broken from the monster kind of make it a little bit faster, but at the same time more aggressive, just to kind of relay the arthritis issue that I've been bringing up. You know, helping its joints out, and then in return it's faster and will still mess you up in the end. So fun. In the town battle quarters, the rusted Cruciale d'Ora can be hit with the Dragonator, so I've touched base on that. It can be hit both when hovering and while on the ground, as long as it's within the Dragonator's range. Now, when doing this quest, I wasn't quite sure if he was going to be in range when he was on the ground, so I didn't even bother trying to use the Dragonator for that. Its hide is also tougher than that of a Cruciale d'Ora, so, you know, rust tends to make things a little bit stubborn. Have you tried getting rust off of something? It ain't easy. And it requires the earplugs in order to block its roar. In Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, the Cruciale d'Ora, the rusted version, is the final village boss as well, and it has its own unique weapons and armor. So In that case, it's treated as separately. But that was the Rusted Cruciala d'Aura. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in any of my other content, be sure to click on one of those annotations that will be featured at the end of this video, and I will see you again next time. Take care, people.